So when you want to draw some wood grain, um, there are different ways to do it. You have one with bark, which is more rustic. It's a darker brown, but you also have a lighter colored brown, which is when you shave the bark off and make it look a very finely crafted sheet of wood. So we have our little shield here that I made. Here's the face here, and we have rims on the side. This is the UV map that I made and organized. And initially what you want to do first is you want to find your base color, just like everything else. So I want to do a kind of light beige because I want that finely crafted look. So usually earthly colors are within red and yellow, so you just need to fiddle around until you find what you want. So luckily I was able to find beige rather fast. And as I put it in, it's a bit too saturated. So I'm just going to put a little bit more gray in there. Hold shift to do this. And for the rim, we're just going to do a normal brown. Typically with shields, you always want to have a kind of border around it, be it metal or leather, because it's just realistically speaking, if you don't have a border um, on your shield, the shield's not going to last nearly as long. Because when you don't have a border, the sword or any other weapon sort of digs into the wood and allows it to split. Meanwhile, a shield with a border would allow it to resist this and be repaired much more easily than otherwise. So here we go. We have the base colors in. I'm going to copy and paste into my creative file. I'm going to Control V as web. I'm going to do the highlighting tool. Highlight. I'm going to go to image, trim to selection. We're going to hold Alt for the deselection mode, drag and deselect. And now, what I preferably do is I select all the white and I delete that. If I were to unlock the background, so I'm going to actually Control E to merge all the layers. Because I like working with one layer as the base and then adding another for the one I actually work on. I'm going to rename that to paint or whatever you want to rename it. I'm going to use the contiguous selection tool to immediately highlight this entire thing. And I'm going to actually, since it's at a 45-degree angle, as you can see right here, 45 degree angle, I too am going to go at a 45-degree angle by going down to the bottom right, going to rotation, right clicking, and 45 degrees. Now you can also just sort of do it manually by clicking and dragging like that, but it's a lot more precise if you were to right click, backspace, 45 degrees, and enter. And there you go. Now what you want to initially do before putting down any grains is you want to make a base texture. So what I use typically, going all the way down, I use this right here, which is called texture big. So you click that, put my thing down a little bit. I'm going to go select this, pick it up. The shortcut is P, but you can also just go over to here and click that. And I'm going to go a bit darker and just sort of put it around. Now, if you have a mouse and you have no ability to manually alter your sensitivity, what you can do is you just sort of lower opacity, and it's sort of the same thing. It's just easy to do with a drawing tablet, which I am using. You don't really need a drawing tablet to texture. It just takes more work. do it with the mouse. It's a little bit too much. So just keep doing it until you find a kind of nice, natural looking texture. Just like that. Maybe a little bit saturation here. The lovely thing about painting is it's very subtle. The subtle kind of details is really what makes a difference. Because although people may not notice it, they see it. And that's what makes a difference. You don't need to consciously see something to appreciate it. You just instinctively see it. So ignore that. So what I should have done from the beginning, actually, is drawn my base textures as well here. So what I'm going to do actually is go like that, pick this up by right clicking, a little bit darker, quite darker, and I'm going to start it from here to here. And this just really gets my lines down. So I can put my details in as effectively as possible. It also really adds some really good definition to different shapes. We just count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 53. Okay. Now I did that to keep an equal spacing, or approximately. I probably miscounted, knowing me. That looks about right. So essentially these will serve as the planks. Ooh, problem with this right here is go back and click mirror horizontally, because the back doesn't really like to work with the front usually. And so now we have our base textures. We're going to copy this, and now we know exactly what orientation it's on, so we won't make mistakes. Luckily, I did all my texturing on another layer, so I can just hide that, go to my backgrounds, Control V as web. It creates a new layer for the extra detail. Make sure to deselect this so you can actually move the thing. Just quickly get rid of the white. Just gets in the way. Deselect. Control E. And there you go. You have your layer. So it turns out it's actually this way, which is nice to know. Shows you the importance of base details. So essentially, what we're going to do now is now draw our grain in. And we're going to do that with what I personally use is basic 6 details. Click that. I'm at a 7. Go a bit darker, just like that. Ooh, I should actually select The annoying thing is that this whole thing is not selected because it's a different color. So you got to manually highlight it. So now, color it in. That is a bit thick. Maybe lower it a bit. Now, if there's ever something you don't like about it, you can just do Control Z, and that'll be it. And by default, Cree doesn't really remember a lot of movements you did, so you can't really undo a lot. But you can change this easily. I'm not going to tell you how to do it right now because I'm doing this. So you better look it up somewhere else. But it's really simple, honestly. So I'm just drawing in the wood grain, natural curves here and there. You can see each one is sort of moving along the other. So since you have this wood grain here, sort of darken it up here, you then go for the highlight, which is this color. Ooh. Ah. That is weird. No! The struggle of trying to zoom while at an angle. Boom. There we go. So now you can just sort of lay down your highlights. So you can see instantly how that affects everything. It just looks a lot nicer, more defined. Each dark has light. That's the general rule with highlighting. Every darkness must have a lightness. That's not the way to say it, but whatever. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So now that we have our highlights in, we can go even darker and sort of just highlight some that are super dark here and there. Just go crazy. This is a natural kind of, object. So anything you want. Oh no, I I drew in the wrong fucking layer. Yeah, watch out for that because sometimes you will unknowingly draw on the wrong layer. So I'm just gonna work with it. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal because it's not this huge project. So I can just work with it really. I can just re-highlight things just like that. Honestly, it'll probably add a little bit more depth. But you can see instantly how much the background texture really helps. That's been, there we go. So now that we have the highlight and the dark, we can actually add different colors into this, different color wood grains. This will add that much more detail into the wood, much more natural kind of look to it. That's the ultimate goal you want, just natural kind of stuff. Now obviously these grains will also have their highlight from this bright kind of what appears to be orange. That doesn't really look good. Probably add Just the normal highlight, maybe. Really, just experiment with this, honestly. That's all you need to do. Experiment, see what works, see what doesn't, abandon that which doesn't, and just take what does. Sort of blend in some colors with the dark highlights. Just sort of vary it up. Sometimes the dark highlights are just too desaturated. You need some color in there, right? Will make them really pop as well. So now that we have the wood grain in, we're going to do the line tool. We're going to go to airbrush because we're going to add the shadows between the planks. Take it a bit dark, lower the opacity, just like that. Go, boop, go, boop. Increase the opacity, lower the brush size, just to get that real dark highlight in. Lower it even more. You want it so that the actual base details blend in. There we go. So just keep highlighting till it blends completely. If you want to add more shading, increase the brush size, add like that. So now we have our different planks, just like that. And maybe we want to add some shine to it, right? So we're going to put it to very bright, adjust the size accordingly. Opacity is good, so keep the line tool open, circle like that. And there we go. So let's copy and paste this and see what we got. Also, I was painting in the wrong layer again. Kill me. Okay, so copy, paste, getting the right thing, and boom, you have yourself a wooden shield. So now we're just going to work with the leather real quick. Just going to show you how to do it. But that's how you do the wood grain, really. It's a simple process. You just need to take a little bit of time to do it. Right click, go to 0. There we go. Now it's back to normal. Contiguous selection tool. And I'm not really going to do much with this. I'm going to basically go very dark brown, pick it up first, then go very dark brown. We're going to go the big texture, sort of waggle on some stuff, maybe some orange, a little bit of white even. Go crazy. Leather is a very nice kind of thing to color because it's a natural thing. So you can have whatever you want. Maybe the you know maybe the tanner is crappy, so he has a bunch of different colors in his leather. It's not pure. Who cares, you know? You can make excuses as long as it looks good, you know. So now that's all good. Control C, Control V, boom. There we go. That is your finished wooden shield. He is going to wear that, and he's going to protect himself. Now it looks a bit blurry. You can really define it by going a bit sharper. But as you go off, it looks pretty good from a distance. So yeah, that's how you do it. That's the basis. So goodbye.